This episode brought to you by the following patrons: Heather, Min, Jason, Madeline, Laura, Jeremy with the laser eyes, Allie, Kristen, and Tia. And all the patrons want you to know you're loved, you're listened to, and you're a valuable member of this awesome Horror Virgin community. And if you want to hang out with us, do it in the Facebook group or subreddit where we'll be hanging out daily. Page A24 has the worst foster care program.
Yeah. Fair. I thought it was wild how the Shape of Water lady just can't stay away from pools.
She loves being wet, Paige.
Oh! Thank you for tuning into Horror Virgin. I'm Paige.
And I'm your Horror Virgin Todd, which means I don't like scary movies and you guys make me watch them. And this week, Paige made us watch
Bring Her Back.
Now, Paige, was this the first time you saw this movie?
The first time I saw this movie, I started this movie at 12:44 this morning.
Okay.
Because I'd been putting it off all damn day. Did I do anything else other than play Ghost of Yotei and eat leftover pizza? No. But everyone said that this one was worse than Talk to Me. And I was like, as much as I loved Talk to Me, I will admit that it was a pretty effective, scary movie, even though I thought it was a really good movie. And I was like, I don't know if I'm ready for the next level today in my emotional state.
Yeah, thank God we didn't get that at all.
Right. No, we did not. This is a very different movie.
Yeah.
It still messed me up in different ways. And I had to watch an episode of Heated Rivalry to calm down. But not in the same way as Talk to Me. And so I am up again only 5-ish hours after finishing this movie. And even after that time to let it ruminate, I still don't know if I liked this or not.
I can tell you out of the gate, didn't like it. But that's not going to surprise anybody.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
This movie is really scary.
Sure.
It also deals with death and grief and stuff, which horror movies commonly do.
In a rough way.
But yeah, in a really rough and visceral way.
Yeah.
I agree 100%. And then it misses the landing, in my opinion, almost as bad as Ready or Not. So I really found nothing in this movie redeemable at all, but largely because I don't like the scary bits, and it does nail the scary bits. So if you like scares, you're going to like this movie. You just will. It had nothing for me.
It doesn't have a lot of jump scares, though. So I'm kind of,
Paige, I
understand
know.
you not liking it, but
it's the body horror. It really is.
The body horror is raw.
This movie spends about, 7 minutes of screen time proving why it's just damn good that babies aren't the size of a 10-year-old.
Sure.
Because they will just put anything in their mouth, and it's good they don't have the strength to really hurt themselves.
Right.
That motherfucker bites the table in half.
Here's what I will say, and I know that what I'm about to say might mean absolutely nothing to you, Todd, and that's okay, but this is more for the listeners. Body horror doesn't get to me too much, usually. However, fucking teeth, shit with fucking teeth.
Yeah.
I cannot.
That was the table bit, too. I squirmed so much.
There is an old boy level of tooth destruction in this film. So, spoiler, but heads up going into that, some teeth gonna get fucking fucked up, and it's a fucking lot, man. I think, because that's what I was trying to think about last night when I finished this. I was like, was I scared of this movie, or do I just find its contents horrifying? And at that point, what is the difference? And I was really
that is an interesting distinction to me, because
right?
Most of the movies that are A24 movies, I kind of like, because they're really emotionally driven movies that have a point and a point of view. And I love that when movies do that.
Sure.
But it is just the visuals that really mess with me. So the way you described that, I think if you could parse that out, I think I kind of like most A24 movies. It's just the scary bits I don't like. Yeah.
Oh, sure, yeah.
This is an exception, though. Didn't like this movie at all.
Not surprised. I feel I don't think I disliked this as much as you did. I feel I really liked Talk to Me, and I know they're different movies, but they do exist in the same universe. I'll cover it in fun facts. But I feel this is the second movie problem that everyone has, right? Where Talk to Me, I think they probably spent so much fucking time on to nail the story because they had to get it made, right?
Yeah.
Like when you're making a movie for the first time, like getting people to trust you with that much money means everything has to be fucking perfect. And so we have in Talk to Me this very, very tight, like 90-minute with like a very clear metaphor and a lot of, yes, there's body horror, but it's got a lot of tight scares. I have heard, because I fell down a rabbit hole after this movie this morning, I guess, just kind of seeing how people felt about the two. And I did hear that some people commented that they felt like Talk to Me seemed mean-spirited towards characters that didn't deserve it, which I do understand that as a criticism, but I also feel like part of the metaphor of Talk to Me is that it can be anyone because it is addiction and it's not linear and it's not based on good or bad. It's not moral in that way. It is just a thing that kind of impacts people in different ways. And this movie, I also feel like is a little mean-spirited towards people who don't deserve it, and cats and children. But the difference is I felt like this movie did not have as tight and as concise of a world building. By the end of the movie, I wasn't inherently mad at that, and I'll explain why in a bit. But it does have pacing problems, and it does have a problem of you kind of don't trust your villain immediately, and then the distrust you have of them is immediately borne out to be true.
Yeah, you know she's terrible out of the gate. Like,
yes.
You just know because, like, her brother comes out and she's like,
right.
Hey, my brother's a pedophile. And you're like, oh, man, Piper's definitely going to be the villain. That's what you're saying,
evil,
right? Like,
so
why don't these kids
no.
just, like, mind? Like, they're the worst. Like, being a foster parent seems so difficult because these kids won't stop eating knives. They won't stop trying to kill cats or be the vessel for the foster parent's biological child. Like, I mean, you guys are so ungrateful.
So ungrateful.
That's what you're saying, Paige. I get it.
No, not at all. But
no, Laura is terrible out of the gate.
Laura's terrible out of the gate.
She is grooming them. She is isolating Piper, and she's like making everything
people.
Andy's fault. Yeah.
Yes. But I feel like the movie thinks it's tipping its hand as like a twist where they're like, but she's not evil in the way you thought. I was like, no, that's exactly the way I thought she was evil, actually.
Yeah, this is an A24 movie. I knew it was going to be specifically this kind of evil.
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
Now, within the world building and the mythology, by the end of the movie, and it's actually more like the turn of Act 2 to Act 3, when we get more of the steps of what she's trying to do, then I was more interested in what was going to happen.
Yeah. I was so mad at that because I felt like they were in like a late stage, like Great British Bake Off technical challenge. They're like,
right?
So the instructions for this very complex ritual are get a host, feed the host the old body, I guess,
right?
Create a new vessel and kill it in the same way, and then regurgitate like the body that you just ate into that new victim, like whatever. But Paige, I've never made a Genoese sponge or hung someone in a cinder block room. Like, who am I? Like a prison guard at the Metropolitan Correction Center in New York City in 2019? I've never hung somebody.
Help me, Mary Berry. Right.
I bet y'all didn't know at the beginning of that joke that started off with Great British Bake Off, it was going to end in an Epstein joke.
I mean, clearly he killed himself, right? Wink. Is the government listening?
Yes.
Anyway. And I'll reference this because I think it is actually, one of the interesting things about this being in a shared universe with Talk to Me. And you know what? I will blow these fun facts right now because hinting at them is not going to do us any good when we could be in understanding stories.
Well, I wouldn't say you hinted at it. You literally said they're in the same universe.
Yes.
But like, who cares? I don't know that matters at all. Just because like it's still like
it does matter.
Okay.
Well, let me explain.
Explain, and then I will decide if it matters or not.
You're gonna say it doesn't because it's not on the screen, and you're right. Let me just preface this by saying that.
That's not what I mean. Because here's why it doesn't matter to me out of the gate, and it's just like a very contrite answer. And I'll be honest, it's me being the problem.
Sure.
But this could take place in any supernatural universe. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not specifically Talk to Me. It could be Conjuring. You know, like, it's all just weird, although Conjuring would never have the balls to do this shit.
They don't have the fucking balls.
Yeah, this is specifically A24 because it's nuts.
It is.
You know, like, in a great way. And I mean that as a compliment.
Sure.
But, like, it's already a supernatural world. Yeah, they could totally overlap. I get that. Yeah. But tell me the real reason.
Okay, so here's the real reason. So there is, and some of this I'm not as familiar with, but I will attempt to lay it out. Prior to making Talk to Me, the Philippou brothers made a YouTube series that they kind of concluded, but is much on a much smaller scale than this and Talk to Me. But it is kind of what they used as their calling card to get the money to make Talk to Me. Now, one of the things they did with that, and kind of did a little bit with Talk to Me, is kind of some viral marketing stuff on other sites. So what they have done for this movie is they created like a fake dark web Russian site where she bought the videos, like the tapes, and created elements of her on the message board asking like how to use them, right? Which I love. I love all of that. That's fucking nuts.
That is cool.
Wish it was on the screen, still enjoying it anyway. Now, you can, through the site, there's a bunch of different videos you can buy, and at least one of them is people using the hand in another place. So it implies that the hand is dark web, this is dark web.
Yeah.
But something that another reviewer that I really like people's reviews are just their personal opinions, right? But
same with ours, for the record. Yeah.
Same with ours, right?
100%.
Amanda the Jedi is somebody whose reviews I tend to agree with more often than not. And I love the way that they break down a movie to kind of form their opinion. Their opinion, and I kind of agree with it after watching both, is that while both of these movies, Talk to Me and this, have their own metaphors within, one of their other overarching themes is people mishandling magic because they do not give it the weight that it should have. So like the Talk to Me hand, kids just start fucking playing with it without any thought to the consequences of what it is.
That's it. Talk to Me. I feel like this one's the complete opposite, though. There's no more higher stakes for Laura than her bringing her daughter back.
Sure. Yes, there are higher stakes for Laura, but she doesn't even know what she's dealing with. It's just she was so desperate.
Yeah.
She bought a video off the internet and then just tried to cook it at home.
I will say, in defense of Laura, that the instructions are very nebulous.
100%.
Yeah.
Yes.
She's doing the best she can here, guys.
She's doing the best she can, but she's willing to kill multiple people on what essentially is a dark web hunch.
Yeah. To me, that shows that, like, she is so committed to this and taking this so seriously, where, like, the kids in Talk to Me are just, like, fucking off having a good time.
But neither of them really understand the gravity of what they're doing. She's taking it seriously, but she doesn't know what she's actually working with.
That is true. 100%.
Right?
Yeah. Which is very common when people try to do this kind of shit.
I mean, no one should try to do this shit ever, but that I feel like is a really interesting theme of these two movies when you look at them together, is this idea of like, you are playing with forces you do not understand.
Yeah.
And you, foolish mortal, have decided that you're just going to do it no matter what.
Uh-huh.
And while that is an ultimately kind of negative and nihilist point of view, I was like, that's actually a really interesting thing to explore in horror movies, I think.
Yeah.
Anyway, I talked for a long time. I didn't hate this. I just prefer Talk to Me. And I do think you're right. I think the metaphor gets muddy at the end.
It's not that it gets muddy. It's that the metaphor goes from, oh shit, this is like a case study in what a grieving mother might do to bring their daughter back, right? I mean, she even says at one point, I would do anything to hear my daughter's voice again or something like that,
Sure.
you know? And then it becomes like, oh, I guess Batman and Superman's moms have the same name. So maybe that's why she just stopped. Like,
Sure,
when
sure.
she stopped after she had killed 3 people at least in
Right.
this movie.
Right.
Because Piper said, Mom, I laughed. I was like, this is not what would happen. She's so committed. Like, it
gonna
really
kill her,
took
yeah.
me out of the movie because I was like, oh, this is a director or writer not having the balls to finish the story they started. and they just like took their foot off the gas.
I think it could be that. It could also be studio notes. It could be any number of things.
I don't think A24 would give that note, honestly. I think A24 would have been like, hey, why is Piper still alive at the end of this movie? Like, A24 is crazy.
Okay, here's how I thought this movie was going to fucking end. And I wasn't going to be happy with it, but story-wise, it works. I thought for sure she was going to go through with it. And we were going to be like, oh my God. But then Piper was going to wake up, and it has worked. And we just now live in the knowledge that this is fucking real and it fucking works. And what the fuck? How many people are walking around like this? Like that, or that she was going to go through with it and it was going to like pet cemetery her back. It wasn't going to be what she wanted. They don't come back the same.
Yeah.
Right? I thought either one of those was going to happen. But at a certain point, I was like, Piper's fucking toast. When they killed Andy, I was like, Piper's dead. Oh no. Like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And then when she let her go, like, I understand to a degree what I think they were going for, which was this idea of like,
every villain deserves a redemption, and you want to see your villain as also kind of a victim of circumstance at the end of the movie. It's kind of gross the way they end it.
I don't even think it was that as much now, and this is going to sound real fucked up, and I apologize. This is me like thinking through this in real time very early in the morning. This would make more sense to me if she had kidnapped Piper from parents who were looking for her or missing her, because there could be a realization of like, just as this horrible thing happened to me, it is potentially someone else is feeling this same pain, and maybe I can't bring myself to do that, right? However, I think you could make a very clear argument that she maybe killed their father because she had their case file.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's very possible. And she has planned this to that level. She also knows that, like, it's now or fucking never. The cops are gonna be on their way. Someone's gonna check her out. Either she does it and maybe gets her daughter back, or she fucking dies. But either way, she's dead. So she better try, I guess. Like,
it literally makes no sense for Laura to let her go.
Yeah.
It makes no sense at all. There's no way to explain it in a way where Laura is true to the character we have seen Laura be the entire movie. It literally breaks the the realism of the world the movie takes place in for me. A better way to do the same thing they did in this movie where Piper survives and, kind of gets away is the pool is drained and it's just like a catch-all for everything that falls in it, right?
Right.
So if she's drowning Piper and Piper grabs her literal nickname that you've heard Andy say to her about 12 times, a pipe that has just fallen into the pool because it's a mess back there.
You mean if she fought her off?
Yes, if she hits her in the face with a pipe, knocks her out, and then of course Laura would drown and die at that point. But that's how Piper gets away. Like, that makes sense to me. That is the thing that is true to the movie, where you have the same ending. It just made me so mad they did this the way they did it, because it gives Laura like I guess she was a victim of her own grief. Like, it's gross.
Well, okay, here's another way that you could also do it that I think Laura would view as a sacrifice, and the rest of us would just be like, no, this is profound mental illness. But once Piper gets away, so Piper fights her off, Piper gets away or whatever, Laura gives up because she knows the cops are coming, everything.
Yeah.
And she lets Ollie regurgitate into her so that her daughter can have a second life as her. Now, granted, is that daughter then going to have to go to many prisons? Yes, probably. But that's the only way I could see that character having any sort of sacrifice is, I'd rather you come back instead of me. I can't live without you. I think that's its own set of weird fucking emotions to grapple with.
That would break the ritual rules that are set up in the movie, because she would have, like, Laura herself would have to drown, and then not Oliver would have to throw up into her mouth.
Oh,
like
God.
Like a bird.
I also thought if Piper beats her in the pool, right? Like, Piper drowns her in trying to stop herself from being drowned, right? And then Oliver did that, that could also work.
Yes.
And that, but like, what a terrifying thing for her daughter. Like, what?
Honestly, I kind of like the twist of
Right?
Laura getting thrown up into. Yeah.
But essentially the only ending that doesn't super work is the one we got.
Yeah. It is like, oh man, they got so close. I literally had the same feeling watching Ready or Not. Exact same feeling. But we can't relitigate that movie, but we should go through this movie scene by scene.
We open, and if you watch this with subtitles on, it just says ominous music playing.
Right.
And I was like, no, right out the gate. And we get, amidst the production companies, what looks like a baby as part of a cult sacrifice, and then text on the screen that says, this is not a cult. If you search for that, that will take you to the like site and everything they set up for this movie where you can buy the tapes and everything. That takes you to the extra stuff.
If you just search for This Is Not a Cult?
As a production company.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Like that's how they kind of hid it and people found it and whatever. Anyway, we hear Russian whispering. Hate that.
Nothing worse.
Well, okay. Let me clarify. If it's sexy Russian whispering, fine. But like in this case, no.
No.
There's like a circle and what seems to be rituals, but we cut to what looks like a warehouse where people are filming snuff films.
That's not what that looked like to me. It looked like just a place they were killing people.
Yes, like a snuff film, because she's taping it.
Yeah, but well, maybe this is just like the pop culture understanding that I have of snuff films. There's something that comes first in a snuff film?
No, not always. Snuff films are live deaths.
Oh, like the Faces of Death VHSs that my friends would make me watch in high school that destroyed my mental health?
Yeah, I mean, sure, but it's filmed specifically for the live death.
Right.
Sometimes there are other elements.
Sure.
But it's filmed specifically for the death part.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never seen one, so like, I don't know. I've only ever read that word. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I have a limited understanding of snuff films. I apologize.
No, for sure. It's one of those things where like, is there normally unfortunate sexual things that happen before? Sometimes. But that is not what makes it a snuff film.
Some things truly just should not exist. Like, there's nothing to say other than that about all that.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, they're killing a bunch of people. They're hanging people, and there's people on the floor, people in the circles. And then there's one girl that seems to have a bloody kind of bruise under her eye, but it almost looks like it's moving towards her eye.
It looked kind of like a birthmark to me, but I can't remember if I saw it moving or not. But it is like something that we see later, and it's definitely not a birthmark. Like, it's a ritual mark of some sort, but it's like on their skin.
Right.
You know, it's like they have been, I mean, we come to find out what is on Not Oliver.
Right.
Right? Because he's got one.
Oh my God, Cousin Oliver. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah.
That's definitely a pop culture reference that I am just now thinking, like realizing.
But he's got, I don't know, the face marking, right?
Like a port wine stain kind of under one eye.
Yeah, so what we come to find out is the person who has it in the Russian video is the transferer or the regurgitator.
Right.
They're the one that you have to take to eat the body and then throw it up into the other body.
Right. And so to be clear, just because I know we have said body a lot of times, the way that we will find out that this ritual allegedly works, and this is based only on context clues from a movie that is very vague about it until the third act. If you're going to do this, you have to have the dead body of the person you love, right? And it cannot have been more than a few weeks, days, who knows? Unclear. And you need to then kill a second person.
Yes, you do.
Or kidnap a person and then perform a ritual on them. I don't think wait, at the end, he's not dead.
I think Oliver might be, I mean, obviously very physically hurt, but he might be alive.
I mean, holy shit, hurt. Yeah, but might be alive.
I don't know. Yeah.
So maybe you just do the transfer and that person doesn't have to die. But if you do this right, that person does probably die. The Oliver usually would die, I would assume.
Yeah, as a part of the transfer, maybe. Like, they're just the one that gets the soul out of the dead body in the freezer and then throws that soul up into... They're pretty much like a soul smoothie maker.
Right,
and then they
right.
throw up that smoothie into the baby bird of the body they're transferring it into.
And they're like, hey, throw an extra banana in there for me. But like, so I think anything they ingest, they take the soul of. I think that's how he's able to mimic the cat. I think that's how he's able to pretend to be the dad. I think that's how he mimics Andy. And I think that's how he eventually mimics Laura, is that he gets a piece of that soul because he ingested some of it. And it's just not enough of it to then barf back into somebody. This is a very complicated mythology.
Honestly, guys, the ritual is it's like truly exactly the same as that Brian McKnight song. You know, it's like, it's one, a snag a host already. Two, feed them the old body. Three, match the death exactly for the host to spit into it.
Right.
I don't know if there's a fifth one. That's pretty much the whole thing. But like that's more or less.
No, 5 is when you start back at 1.
If it doesn't work, yeah.
Anyway, we then cut away from this horrifying hostel/factory kind of thing to outside of school, where we meet Piper for the first time. And Piper very clearly has some issues with her vision. We'll find out more about that as we go.
Yeah.
But she like tries to be friends with a group of girls that are mean as fuck. And I hope they get hit by that bus like the Plastics.
I think maybe like you really like Piper throughout this movie. And I think that this does a pretty good job of showing that, like, yes, those girls do kind of reject her, I think, for her otherness.
Sure.
Right. But she's also a little awkward because the joke she leads with, I think it's like fine for friends. Like if you're with friends who know you and know your humor, it's fine.
Right.
Right. But to walk up on a new group of people and then for your brother to come up who they also don't know and be like, hey, this guy's a pedophile.
Wild.
That's a swing. Like I would have laughed, but I understood why those girls were like, what?
Yeah. I mean, I thought it was funny because it's like he's clearly like another kid their age. And I was like, hilarious.
Well, slightly older, you know, like 2 years older or something, like
right?
an older brother would be, you know?
Not too much.
Yeah, no, he's not like 40.
I also love, there's one that she does that I found really funny later, where I love that they give Piper a sense of humor. And I think part of that is them trying to demonstrate that, like, Piper wants to be independent. She wants to be her own person. She wants to go out on her own. And everyone kind of babies her and acts like she can't. And then she survives. She's the final girl.
She is.
Like, she can.
Yeah.
Would have been better if she'd killed that bitch in the pool. But, like, sure, right?
Yeah.
You know?
I don't think she actually addresses it here, but she gives that reason for not using the cane.
Right. She does say it here, yeah.
That you see a lot of people who are, don't have great sight use. And she just doesn't like when people baby her. And I kind of get that, you know?
Yeah.
And the only time in the movie where I think it puts her at a disadvantage is when she falls at the very end.
Yes.
Kind of down the hill. But I wasn't thinking in that moment, oh, I wish you had the cane.
Oh.
But like, you know what I'm saying? Because you're not thinking about that at all.
We'll talk about it more when we get to that point in the movie.
But to my point, she does everything that she would need to survive this movie without it.
Right.
You know, like she doesn't need it. Yeah.
She never uses it. Yeah. But Andy drives her home and we cut to, I think, later that same day.
I got the impression it was when they got home.
Yes.
Like he went to go pick her up. Dad went to go shower. And then that happened. And I know you kind of posited that you think it might have been a murder that Laura committed. But all we see on the screen is what seems to be a slip in the shower, like hit his head and dead kind of situation.
Yeah. The only reason I have any reason to think Laura engineered this is twofold, I guess. One, she does say it at one point, but the question is she actually saying it? Is Andy hallucinating?
Yeah.
Two, she could only keep Kathy's body for so long.
You mean on ice?
Yes.
Literally? Yeah.
On ice, literally. And they would have had a file, and we know that she worked in the department for 20 years.
Yeah.
They have a file because of when Andy hit her. So if she was able to just search by incident or by, when you, at least in America, and I don't know if this is the same overseas, when you are applying to be a foster parent or applying for adoption, if someone has special needs that they would need to be accommodated in your home, that is listed on their file. So if she just searched for people who had, or in this movie they call it partially sighted, but if she searched for people who had issues with their vision, she would have found her.
Yeah.
And she would have had access. So I do think that she could have We don't see her in this scene at all, though. As far as we can see, it looks like their father had some sort of a stroke or slipped and fell in the bathtub or something. And we do know that he had cancer and had just finished chemo. And it seems like there was some sort of complication somehow, because he does have vomit on him, which is very gross. But like,
well, he's also full ass naked when they walk in, and you kind of see it all. It's like, it is as horrible as it would be to walk in on something like that.
It reminded me of, so do you remember when we did the movie Haunted, where the lady's like spinning in the shower and smashing her head on all the walls? I know you don't remember anything we do after a few weeks, but like,
I do remember that shot. I didn't remember it was that movie, but yeah.
So my husband really liked When Evil Lurks, and has not been able to finish that movie because of that scene.
Yeah.
He got to that scene in the beginning and was like, I'm out. I am tapped out.
Yeah, I get it.
And this feels very much like that of like, now granted, this is how this would look if he slipped and fell, if he had a stroke or anything. Like, this is very realistic.
100%.
It is just, this is the horror of that moment, a very real moment, which I think is why it's so hard to watch.
Yeah, I agree.
But immediately, emergency services get there because they call and they ask Piper, did your brother help you? And she said, no, he took care of it. We will find out that's not the case, and that she tried to give her father CPR, but it did not work.
Yeah, we see that in a flashback later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we then cut to Child Protective Services, where they're going to be splitting them up. And Piper is going to go with Laura, and Andy's going to go to his own supervised unit because he's only 3 months until he turns 18.
Yeah.
So the reason being is Laura said she'd had issue with like troubled children in the past. And Andy's like, I promise that was such a long time ago. I am a different person. Please don't split my sister and I up. It's only 3 months. I'm going to apply for custody. As soon as that 3 months is up, can we please stay together?
Yeah. It's a brutal situation, man. It's like real sad.
It's so sad.
Yeah.
We cut to them moving out of the house. She takes her dad's pillow. He doesn't take anything. We'll address this a little bit more later on.
Yeah. Some people don't connect to stuff like that specifically. Although, I don't know. I feel like they put a lot of dad wasn't really a great guy energy into it towards the end of the movie. At least towards his son, which it does sound like there was some abuse and stuff. But yeah. You don't know any of that at this point.
You don't. It's only 2020 hindsight that you kind of see it. And I do think this is one of those movies, if you watched it more than once, if you can get through that much teeth, that there are Easter eggs. I even started to notice that there's a lot of circles in the house of like kind of suggesting what we're going to do later on. But anyway, they then go to the new house. He's driving them out there.
Yeah.
And then he seems to, as he goes to the driveway, hit like a planter, almost like a flower box.
Like, yeah.
Something. But I do love that at this point, Piper's like, I thought I was the one who couldn't see.
Yeah.
And I was just like, that is the most sibling shit. Like, I love that.
I know. It's great. But as they get to Laura's house, it's like blasting some MGMT kind of song.
Well, before we get in there.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I think he hit the line.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, the line's in her driveway, more or less. So, yeah. Like,
yeah.
It's just a big circle around the whole house, more or less.
Around the whole house. We never see anyone drive closer than he does.
Well, we see her drive over the line at one point.
Well, her, though.
Yeah, no, I know.
She made the line. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, not until later. But
they get out and walk over the line. Like, I don't think the line's anything other than just the boundary in which Oliver can't walk without the thing trying to get out of him.
Right.
Because it does seem like that is what would cure Oliver on some level.
Right, because that is what happens at the end, I guess. But yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, they get to the new house. She is blasting music, which I'm like, lady, you know that sound is important to this girl. And I did find I'll burn a fun fact. Each character has their own soundscape. So whenever you're in a different character's point of view, it's their version of sound.
Interesting.
Yeah, which that's one of those things I'm like, I might have to go back and watch again for that. But
I just assumed she was using the sound, not this time, but when I heard her use music later in the movie to hide Oliver's screamings.
Yes.
I was like, oh, so Oliver was screaming when they got there and she just didn't want them to hear it.
Or she was deliberately trying to disorient Piper.
It could be. Yeah.
Could be. Either way, Piper is trying to find her way through the house. And when Laura meets her, she asks, what can you see, essentially? And I think it is her trying to figure out what she can get away with. And this is where Piper says, like, I can see lights and colors and shapes.
Yeah.
So She has some ability to navigate based on that, but not a ton. However, that will come into play later.
Yeah.
Because there are times when Piper can potentially see more than when she cannot.
But like when they get there, it's very clear that like Laura does not give a shit about Andy at all.
Not at all.
Like takes a selfie and stands in front of Andy so you can't see Andy at all. You can just see Laura and Piper. Yeah, it's insane. Like it's so clear out of the gate that Laura's the villain.
Not only that, we get a very, very early indication that Laura has a problem accepting death. We meet her dog that she has taxidermied, which some people choose to do that. That's up to you. It's one thing in a soup of many things that contribute to her having a problem with death. Not this one thing alone, but this is just a clue the movie is giving us to later, because she moves that dog around the house as if it's still alive.
Paige, I have a really strange question.
Sure.
Do you think the reason Oliver is chewing on everything, you might say teething, is because she tried to transfer that dog into another dog using Oliver as a vessel and the dog's body got stuck in Oliver?
No, but that would be an interesting movie sequel. No.
He is part terrier in this movie, though. I don't know what else to call
Absolutely.
it.
Yeah. He be tarrying a bunch of stuff.
He eats a table. Like, I don't know how else to say it.
He eats his own arm.
Oh, yeah.
And he tears that skin off.
Yeah.
But we do meet Junkman the cat, or at least we hear that Junkman is around and that he shouldn't go outside. Now, the reason he shouldn't go outside is because Ollie is often outside. And she also has chickens outside too.
Yeah.
But she does say, when Junkman dies, we'll stuff him too. Meaning that she would also have a taxidermied cat.
Right.
And again, if you choose to taxidermy your pets, this is not a slight on you. But I'm just saying that if you are going to taxidermy everything that dies around you, and then you've also kidnapped a boy to try and essentially taxidermy your daughter into someone else's body, maybe we talk to a professional.
Maybe you've gone a few steps too far.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, they go outside because they see that there's another kid in the pool, and they were not told that there was another kid there, which I think is a huge red flag.
Yeah, it is a red flag because you know who doesn't know about that other kid probably?
CPS.
Right. Child Protective Services or whatever they call it in Australia.
Yeah, I don't know. In my mind, in my notes, it's CPS because that's what we call it. But
yeah.
Anyway, it's Ollie and he's standing in the pool and he has managed to get the cat that they accidentally left outside. And it looks like he's going to fucking eat that cat.
It does look like he's going to eat it like Alf.
Yeah.
Like he really wants to eat that cat up.
Well, because she runs out there and wrestles the cat away from him.
Yeah.
To basically be like, no, let him go. And you're like, at minimum, this child is a future serial killer.
Right.
At maximum, he's going to eat that cat because he's Alf.
But what is actually happening is that child has been kidnapped and is a victim.
Yep.
It's real sad.
I'm really glad he gets away at the end, honestly. Anyway.
He's going to have the best teeth in the 4th grade when he goes back to school or whatever. Because, they're all going to be veneers, but...
Just giant veneers. Yeah. Just like the ones people get when they first get famous. But she starts marking off everyone's heights. And there's a whole lot of lines on that wall. And I was like, how many kids has she tried this with?
Oh, I thought, how often is she doing this specific thing? You don't have to do it every day, Mom.
Right. But other people have brought up that depending on what you believe is in Oliver, some people believe it's a demon. It's actually really funny to be like, 4'11", good job. Anyway, they also notice that the rug is taped down.
Yeah, which is, I think, for people who can't see very well, right? And that's when she mentions that Kathy, her daughter, was also blind or had issues with sight.
Right. And that Ollie has been selectively mute, is what she says, since they lost Kathy.
Yeah. This is where she sees Andy lie about Oliver saying, oh, he's smiling at you.
Right.
And then she lies about the way Oliver's hair looks.
He lies about the way Oliver's hair looks.
Nope.
Because he said, well, I guess it's at the funeral that he says it's red and curly.
Right.
Yeah.
And she does too.
Yeah.
She echoes that here.
Yeah. Well, and echoes it later too.
Uh-huh.
So she keeps the lie up knowing that he has lied.
I mean, and that's how she knows. That's how, when I say she, I mean Piper. That's how Piper knows that she's in trouble at the end when she touches Oliver's head for the first time and she's like, this is neither red nor curly.
Right. So we cut around the house where we see the line outside. We see a couple different mirrors around the house. Mirrors tend to be a thing in this movie. But she takes Piper to her room, which is Kathy's old room, which she has not changed. And she says it's because it's the way Piper likes it. But we know it's because she is intending for Kathy to come back.
Yeah. Piper's just here for like a fortnight while we do this ritual. You know what I'm saying?
Right. But then we show Andy to his room, which is a closet.
Yeah. With a mattress on the floor and like, it is like, he's very much an afterthought. And just, I have to get her, Piper, so I guess I'll deal with you for 3 months or whatever.
Not only is he an afterthought, but like any CPS person that went in and toured his room, it also tells us they're not doing their due diligence for Andy.
No, because she worked there for 20 years.
They're letting her off.
They trust her and absolutely should not.
Right.
Yeah, 100%. You're right.
Yeah. And eventually when they do show his bedroom, they're kind of like, yeah. But that's about it, right?
I really like that the movie gave us a believable in-world explanation for why CPS did not check this place out beforehand.
Right. Because they're like, well, it's her. She's fine.
Yeah, she worked here 20 years. She's great.
Right. But Andy is texting somebody. And he's like, I guess I have a new brother at this place that we didn't know about. And he's a fucking weirdo.
Yeah.
And literally within minutes, Laura is already testing boundaries. Like, when she reveals that she was a counselor for many years, I was like, I'm sure you messed so many kids up because what the fuck, lady? Like, no.
She could have been doing terrible stuff her whole life. I honestly think the movie wants us to think, oh, she is good at being this terrible because she knows all of the ways to like get into people's minds and like help them through things typically, but you can also use those powers for evil.
Sure.
And then when her daughter died, she swung the pendulum over to evil.
And that could be, but I do think there is a very consistent and persistent trend of her ignoring Andy's boundaries.
Oh, 100%. I mean, she literally goes through his phone right here.
Right.
And then he like slaps it out of her hand or grabs it or whatever. And she like immediately plays the victim like she wasn't violating his privacy. It is so clear that she's the villain out of the gate.
Out of the gate, yeah. And she's like, oh, so Oliver's a fucking weirdo. I'm like, yes. We just saw him almost eat a cat.
Yeah.
In the middle of your empty pool. What? Like,
yeah.
Right. We cut to Andy's lifting weights and we do see him drinking some protein shakes. Those will be important momentarily. Meanwhile, Piper is in Kathy's room. She's kind of going to sleep with Dad's pillow.
Yeah.
But Laura is watching her through the bead curtain, which like, I guess because it was Kathy's and she didn't change it. But there's a part of me that's like, as the villain, you should really get rid of that bead curtain. Like,
I thought it was cool, and I'll tell you why. It is one of those things that I think Laura did because she wanted to sound like or feel like or wanted to pass it off as like, listen, I'm great at this. And like, I had a daughter that also had sight issues. So wouldn't it be nice if anytime someone came in and out of your room, you had an audible experience and you like could understand someone was coming in and out of your room? But what it really did is let her get rid of the door that should be there so that she can do exactly what she's doing right now. Mm-hmm. I think it's like a really clever way for the movie to show that she has like thought this through. And honestly, maybe she did that when Kathy's door, well, you know, when Kathy was alive, instead of Kathy having a door, but I bet she did it for similar reasons then.
Right.
It's a way to give someone with limited sight a nice thing while also depriving them of privacy. It's not great.
It's not great.
Yeah.
We cut to later that night. She's like telling Oliver to wait in his room. She's checking the weather. She's watching the VHS tape. She's like drawing circles on things. The cat is like meowing and screaming. She and Oliver go outside. Now, at that point, the next day she's painting a line in the pool.
Yeah. We
will find out that this is how full the pool was when her daughter drowned. And here's what I think happened. I think the pool was empty, or she thought the pool was empty, but rain, whatever.
Yeah.
And her daughter, because it definitely wasn't full, and her daughter slipped and fell into the pool. And if it had been full, clearly her daughter can swim and she would have swam her way out of the pool. But because it wasn't full, she hit her head and then drowned in the pool. I think that's what happened.
I don't think it matters whether it was full or not, other than the line she's painting, right?
Right.
But I think it's just in the flashback we get showing that she fell, slipped, hit her head and was knocked out and then drowned because she was knocked out in water and you can't breathe in water. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
She just died, but I do think that's what that line is though.
So that they can replicate it exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think that is why she targeted specifically Piper, right?
Right.
Because it has to be it exactly.
Right. But the next morning we wake up and Andy and he did see them walking out of the pool last night, but then we cut to him waking up the next morning where his mouth is kind of covered in drool and he has wet the bed. Now he is 17.
Yeah.
And this serves two things. One, we immediately know that she's drugging him, right?
Every time he wakes up, he's got that drool on his face.
Yeah.
And sometimes you just drool in your sleep.
Sometimes you do, but
it could very well be that she's drugging him. I don't know, but that's in my mind. Even this time, I was like, oh, the drool on his face is the only mess he's responsible for because there's some chicanery going on with the piss. And we do have that confirmed later on.
Yes.
But that's how creepy Laura is out of the gate towards Andy. So I knew right away he didn't actually pee himself in the night.
Right. I suspected it was the protein powder. And later she kind of checks his water bottle to see that he's drank all of it.
Yeah.
So that's when I was drugged.
Yeah. No, I think it could be.
Yeah.
But it's clear out of the gate he did not pee himself, at least in my opinion.
Right. We cut to the next, or I guess a few minutes later, because he gets up. He does the laundry so she doesn't have to clean it up, which again, this is somebody who's had to do this before and at a very young age. So you're already this for me is where the cracks are showing of oh, Andy has not had it great and Piper doesn't know.
Yeah.
Because he's hiding it.
They do a really good job of when he throws the laundry in of putting him in a position that makes him look like a child in that shot.
And very small. Yes.
Yeah. Which I really thought was a great callback to, hey, he knows how to do this for reasons that happened at a pretty young age. You know what I'm saying? Because he was taken back to that. It was a great acting choice or directing choice or whatever. Whoever made that choice, it was the right one. I liked it a lot.
Right. But he goes to take a shower and he can't. He has severe flashbacks of the shower. And it's not just his dad dying, we will find out later.
Yeah.
But this is kind of what we're seeing. We cut to, they lock Ollie in and they go to the funeral.
Laura locks Ollie in. Nobody else knows that she does that until later in the movie. Yeah.
Right. They go to the funeral and this is where Piper is like, hey, how does dad look? And he can't look down at him.
Yeah. This is also where we get it confirmed what the code word grapefruit means. Mm-hmm. And that is hey, I know you don't want to, but you gotta tell me the truth.
Right.
Or that's if she says it, right? And if he says it back, he's like, that's the truth.
Right.
That's the ugly truth of whatever is actually happening, right? Which I really kind of love that they have that. I just wish it wasn't the grapefruit method because my brain goes somewhere else with that.
Sure.
That is maybe appropriate for a stepbrother, stepsister situation, but not in this movie.
In different documentaries, yes.
Yes.
Not in this one.
It also made me really sad because he has a very complicated relationship with the man in the box and he cannot look down at him. And he does not want to. And this is not my experience, but I definitely understand why that would be difficult for him. And so I think that I gave him a pass for kind of lying to her.
Oh, sure.
To his sister about this. And I thought it was a real dick move when Laura outs him about it.
Not only that, because essentially Laura cuts some of his hair, which is fucked up.
Sorry, cut some of the father's hair.
The father's hair.
Just to be clear how fucked up it is.
Yes.
She also kisses him full on the mouth, which made me real sad. I was like, man, can she not find a living man to kiss her on the mouth?
Maybe not. Maybe that's why she had to kidnap a child.
Or maybe it's a consent thing. She doesn't really want consent. She's not interested in it.
She's not because she violates everyone's boundaries. She doesn't have her daughter's consent to bring her back. Consent and boundaries do not exist for Laura at all. Because they go to leave and she's like, you have to go back in there and actually look and kiss him.
Yeah, I do want to say this just to go on the record. If and when I die, you do have consent to try and bring me back.
Oh, okay. Don't bring me back.
I want it to be as weird as possible.
Okay.
It's not going to work because, like reality exists, but I kind of don't give a shit if you guys want to play around with the body.
Oh, sure. I don't care what you do with my body. That's why I want to be cremated. Like, I'm not waking up in a coffin. Make sure I'm dead.
Oh, yeah. I can't think of anything scarier than that, Paige.
Oof,
just like
right?
the resurrection into coffin. Oof.
No, thank you.
Yeah, I hope Jesus is bringing shovels. That's all I'm saying. Like, we got to dig up everybody.
Right. Make sure I'm dead. Burn my body. But donate whatever you want to science first, then burn it, right?
Yeah.
I don't care about that part, but I don't want some sort of pet cemetery situation where I come back fucked up. And like, it's like you said, it's not real until it is. And then if it is, fuck that, right?
I know, right? But Paige, think about it. If you sign up for just like, try and do anything to bring me back, there's a non-0% chance that you get to meet Oscar Isaac. So like, Dr. Frankenstein's Oscar Isaac.
I went Annihilation before Frankenstein. I was like, but is it real Oscar Isaac?
Paige, does it matter? He still looks like Oscar Isaac.
I mean, if he looked the same, yeah, maybe. Can I get the Dune version? I like him with the longer, curlier hair. Atreides! Anyway, so she makes him go back in there and kiss the body, which is not a tradition that I know of. Don't kiss my body after I'm dead.
I don't know if this is a real tradition in Australia, but I thought it was weird that she was trying to force Andy to kiss his dad on the mouth. That's weird. I don't know. If it's your culture or tradition, I'm sorry. That's weird for me and my sensibilities.
Well, kiss Andy's dead dad on the mouth.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't mean like just kiss your dad on the mouth, whatever. But like he's been dead for a while.
I mean dead dad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, they then go home. And like, it's weird. It's all weird. But like, they get in the car and she's like, hey, let's try and have some fun because it's been a rough day. What do you like to do for fun? And Piper's like, kick Andy in the balls. And she's like, Andy, what do you like to do for fun? And he's like, get hammered. And she's like, all right, let's do it. And I was like, whoa, no. Now, this is something unique to outside the US because in the US, our drinking age is 21. Which means that you would always age out of the foster system before you would legally be able to drink, right?
Right.
That's not the case overseas. Their drinking age is lower. You could, in theory, do this legally. Do I think it's a good idea either way? No. No, I don't. I think this crosses a very specific boundary. And I think that this is just one more way that she is able to make Andy look irresponsible.
Yeah, this movie takes place in Southern Australia where the drinking age is 18. So
so neither.
It is illegal in this movie.
It's illegal either way.
Yeah, it's grooming either way. Yeah, but it is definitely illegal.
Well, then gross on all accounts.
I looked it up because I was like, there are some cultures where it's like fucking 16 or 14 or whatever, which is fine. I don't care. But like, that might have been legal if their drinking age was 14 or whatever, cool, but like not cool.
When I was in Italy at 16, the drinking age in Italy was 16.
Yeah. So yeah.
I brought a whole suitcase of wine home and like nobody gave a shit. They were just like, you can legally buy it. Have fun.
I don't pay attention to stuff like that because I've like literally never had alcohol. So I just don't know.
I mean, take it or leave it.
Yeah.
But they also play drinking games.
Yeah.
And they're doing shots. Like, it's bad. This is not good. This is a really bad blurring of boundaries at minimum and grooming at maximum. Like, they've
been there 2 days and they're getting hammered with their foster mom.
And where's Ollie? Who's taking Ollie? Because here's something we didn't cover. While they're at the funeral, Ollie breaks through the glass of a window and goes like rampaging around the backyard covered in blood.
Well, I think it implies that he kills the chickens.
Not all of them, because some of them are around later, but yeah.
Well, yeah, some of them are still out, but he's the one that breaks the cage to let them out.
Right. And we never addressed that broken window, which would have definitely been something that people would have had to address. And it's not until after everyone else is kind of passed out from drinking that she even goes to find Ollie outside and stuff. It's real fucked up.
Yeah.
And like, this is where she, under auspices of drinking, in vino veritas, kind of talks to Andy and is like, you don't have to look at me, but like, let's talk about your dad.
Yeah, so they do the back-to-back sort of technique.
Right. Which I do think, and again, this is her using therapy techniques to, gaslight him essentially. But this is where he basically was like, I was abused for many, many years, specifically in the shower so people couldn't hear it.
Yeah.
And I hid it from Piper. But when I was younger, when I was 8, I couldn't fucking take it anymore. And I hit her once. And I have been like, I've regretted that ever since. But no one ever talks about me and the abuse I was suffering.
Yeah.
They only talk about Piper because she's the one who needs help. And I'm happy to help her. I like being her brother. I love her to death. But you need to know that, like, I have some fucking trauma around my relationship with my dad and the shower specifically.
Yeah, it's pretty sad.
This is where she says some fucked up shit because she was like, when my daughter died, I couldn't bear the thought of leaving her at the cemetery. It was like I was abandoning her.
Yeah. Well, then get a tent. Like, don't kill a bunch of people for it.
Well, she says that she spent days at the cemetery. Like, she basically did camp out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, no.
So what you're saying is this movie happened because she really just wanted to, like, be with her daughter at home? Wait. So that means she went to the cemetery, dug up and stole the body of her daughter, put it in the freezer, all without anybody noticing that happened.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man, that's some real we stole one of the Stoneses from Stonehenge logic and we brought it to California. Like, there's so much that would, like, be obvious about that. She would not be able to dig up the body without the groundskeepers seeing the ground being disturbed. Like,
I think that's what she's implying in this scene. I don't think that's what actually happened, but I do think that's what she's telling Andy.
okay.
Or implying to Andy.
Okay, because if she just is saying this to be like, yeah, my daughter totally had a normal burial, let's not think about it, because she's actually buried her in the freezer.
I think that's what's up.
Okay, good. That makes sense.
I think that's what's up, and she buried an empty coffin, but what she's voicing here is why she did that, right? That she couldn't bear the thought of leaving her at the cemetery. I was abandoning her, so I didn't.
Yeah.
Right?
You know what would have been cool? Because Andy is lifting weights in this movie at her house, if they had revealed that they were missing, like, 70 pounds of weights.
Oh, yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah.
That would have been great.
That would have been cool.
But we see Andy passed out, probably from drinking, but she does check the water bottle, which to me is like, maybe she did drug him, who knows? Then she goes and pees in a measuring cup and pours it over him. And I was like,
I don't care how asleep I am. If you pour warm liquid on my crotch, I'm waking up. Or, like, she grabs his eyes and opens his eyes to open his phone, right?
And takes pictures. Yeah.
So she can, like, get in and, like, look at what he's done on his phone, like messaging people. And I think that's largely because she stole Oliver, or
right.
Not Oliver, because it's not actually Oliver.
Right. And he, like, later he tries to take pictures of Oliver, like, just to, like, what the fuck is up with that kid? And she, I think, is checking for that.
Well, because I think she stole Oliver and people are looking for that child. And if the person who sees those text messages with that picture, like, see the missing signs, they're going to be like, oh, that's at this guy's house. Like, my friend's at a foster lady who's got that child.
Right. But also, I need to tell you, I don't want anyone else's piss on me ever.
Yeah. Me either. The only people that are like, you definitely have to have a conversation about it beforehand. It's like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But that ain't for me.
No. But we cut to, she's trying to, like, wash Oliver because Oliver's bloody and has, like, cut his hand from punching through the window. And she's like, are you in there? Did I do it right? I can't see you.
Yeah.
And it is implied that Oliver took a bite out of that kitty.
Yeah.
Because the cat's bloody but still alive. And in this scene, he starts, like, meowing.
Right? That's why I thought it might have been the dog, too. Like, the dog might have been in there, too. Like, Oliver's been there for a while. If he killed that dog, like, 3 months ago or whatever.
So, according to the message boards, Oliver has not been there all that long.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, and there actually is a date, I think, on the missing poster that probably places it in time in the movie. I just didn't clock it. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Fair.
But we then cut to the next morning. Andy gets up. He has to clean the sheets again, but she's in there doing the laundry because now she knows, right? Like,
yeah,
she said it and she, like, waits for him to come hand her the laundry. She's like, oh, I'll take it. She's like, is this piss? Like, embarrasses him in front of his sister.
Yeah, and he just, like, really badly wanted to be like, yeah, it is, and you're pregnant.
Right. Ugh, I could tell by the taste.
And it told me you're pregnant.
Yeah.
I don't think he tasted it. I just think, like, if he was a pregnancy test.
Maybe. But this is also where Laura is like, yeah, he got really aggressive when he was drunk last night. I'll tell you in the car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a thing that she created, or a situation she created, so that she could like drive a wedge between Piper and Andy, because she's terrible and is going to kill Piper, at least.
Right. And she then, every time she needs to get rid of him or embarrass him or try to control him, she tells him to take a shower.
Yeah.
Because any normal people would just take a shower, right? Like, sure, or whatever. And he can't stand to be in there.
Which I understand.
Mm-hmm.
But he does like have maybe a little internal conversation that we don't get, where he's like, all right, listen, I've had pee dumped on me 2 nights in a row. I do need to wash.
Right.
So like, even if I can't take a shower, I got to go out to this hose or water spout or whatever you call it when the hose isn't on it. But yeah,
right.
He goes out there to try and wash off, because he does need to wash off.
Right. But she then says that she and Piper are going to go for girls shopping day and make sure Ollie stays in his room.
Yeah.
But then, and I think Andy's just trying to get to know Ollie better, where he's just like, we're going to live here together. Like, I should be nice.
He's trying to get him some food, man. Like, I don't think he does anything wrong here.
I mean, the only thing, well, we'll get to it in a sec, but he breaks Ollie out and is like, let me get you some food, but, you're going to write down stuff so we can talk. And Ollie does write something down, and he's like, great. And goes to hand him cantaloupe on a knife. I would never do that, ever.
Especially when the child is holding the knife with the blade. You got to really address that part of it first, because you got to figure out how to get their hands off of it without slicing the blade at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would never just hand them the blade while they're holding the blade. Like, that's insane.
I would never hand anyone a blade like that. Like, that's a chef's knife. That's giant. Like, I would have put it on a plate before I ever handed it to him. Like,
100%.
Or just taking the melon off and just handed him the melon. Like, eat it, whatever. But yeah. But of course, Ollie grabs that knife and starts literally chomping down on it blade first, cutting up through the front, breaking out a few teeth and cutting up under his nose. And it's fucked the fuck up.
Yeah, it's gross.
But here's the thing. Andy does the exact right thing here, where he immediately gets the knife away and is like, we got to go to the fucking hospital. Right now. Drags him outside, and in doing so, drags him over the line.
Yeah.
And whatever is inside Ollie starts to reject, and he just says, help me.
Well, I think you're actually hearing not Oliver for the first time in the movie, because he's been mute this whole time, because I think of whatever's inside him won't let him speak.
Right.
And because he's outside the power of the devil antenna or whatever, he can now talk a little bit.
Right.
But unfortunately, Laura arrives back home right at this moment.
Right. And I do think it's interesting. We see that Oliver tends to heal faster. I don't know if you've noticed this, because that's a wound that would require surgery.
Oh, yeah. Like, it cut all the way up his lip to where his nose starts, and the gums right there too. Yeah, it would require a lot of dentistry.
Yes. And also the cat got out in the melee of what's going on.
Right.
But Laura shows up, drags Oliver back inside, locks Andy out of a room. And Andy, at this point, goes over to the pad and is like, what did Oliver write? And it just says bird, which at this point in the movie, on a first watch through, you're like, the fuck does that mean? But then later, it will make all the sense in the world, and it is so important.
Yeah. But in the moment, I was like, what does Sweet D have to do with any of this?
Yeah, bird. Or I thought, I was like, he definitely ate a piece of that cat, and that's all that cat's thinking about.
Right? That's all that cat wants.
But we cut to Laura watching those VHS tapes and trying to calm him.
Yeah.
And this is where we start to get a little bit more of the ritual, but not all of it, right? And she refuses to take him to a hospital. But this is where she kind of gets Piper on her side and is like, Andy let him out and let the cat out, and I can't trust him, and whatever.
And this is probably after a day of also creating a wedge between Andy and Piper while they went shopping together.
Right.
I did not find how Piper views her brother surprising.
Right.
Over the course of this movie, because she's only being presented with the false negative stuff about him.
Right.
I don't think it's her fault.
No.
You know what I'm saying? She's being lied to and gaslit.
Well, and when it really counts, Piper does question.
Yes.
Right?
100%.
But Andy goes to take a shower.
Yeah.
And while that's happening, Laura feeds some of his dad's hair to Oliver. And it creates this kind of, it plays on Andy's PTSD where it seems like his dad has shown up as an apparition and is like, she'll die in the rain. She'll die in the rain.
Yeah.
And Andy slips and smacks his head on the floor.
Just like Dad.
Just like Dad. Even though we find out it was Ollie, not his dad, not a ghost. It was Ollie.
Yeah, I really like the way they revealed that because to us, it was always the dad. We see it.
Right.
We see the vomit on his mouth. We see everything. I even think we get a flashback in this moment to where that's where we see that she was doing CPR and not him. And then as he slips and falls and like the dad looks over on the body, that's when we get the flash of it actually being Oliver. And I was like, oh shit, that's why she wanted the hair.
Right.
Yeah.
100%. And while the rain is happening, it's filling the pool and Laura takes him to the hospital, but then comes to visit him and is like, hey, Kathy loved the rain. Like, don't worry about this. Your sister's worried, but you'll be fine. Don't worry about it. But then she comes home and Laura and Piper watch a bunch of videos of Kathy. And in the video, because Piper can't see it, Laura points out, oh, that's my nephew Oliver. And it's a completely different kid.
Yeah.
It is not the Oliver we know.
Right. But that kid is a little taller, has red hair, and it kind of looks curly. He also kind of looks like, you know, he and his other Cobra Kai friends are going to kick the shit out of a guy who's dressed as a shower tonight because they're trying to steal Johnny's girlfriend. But it's definitely not the Oliver we know in the movie.
Right.
You know, he's got red hair, it is curly, and that is not what we see.
Not at all. But she then goes to the hospital and is like, hey, what's going on with you? He's like, I saw my dad in the shower. It said that she'll die in the rain. Just please keep her inside. Please keep her inside. And she goes, are you sure this isn't you worried about the shower itself? You know, like your dad when I killed him? I mean, what?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But she also gives him body spray. This is a plant that she's going to use later.
Yeah. She's like, I really love Axe body spray.
Yes.
Yeah. It's crazy.
But we cut to, she goes back home and she has like a whole day with Piper where she like puts her in Kathy's sweater and all kinds of stuff and takes her into the pool house and lets her touch Kathy's body and doesn't tell her what it is.
Oh man. When that happened, I literally said to Natalie, who was watching this movie with me, I was like, what if it's Kathy's head in the freezer? Because I was thinking of like, you know, like the people who have like died and they freeze their heads or whatever.
Right.
And then when it was revealed, it was just all of Kathy. I was like, oh my God, that's way worse than I thought it was going to be.
Also, we see Ollie touching it in the chest freezer and then like recoiling back, which is really creepy. I think had the hospital not called for her to pick up Andy, she was going to do it that night.
Oh, yeah. I mean, maybe.
While he was indisposed. But because the next thing is we cut to her driving him home from the hospital and she's like, you had a psychotic break and they just let you go? That's fucking weird, right? Like, that's crazy that they just let you go.
Yeah, she's kind of pissed about it.
She is kind of pissed about it. We then cut to him lifting weights. He doesn't have a spotter and he takes the protein shake, so he passes out. We cut to her tracing circles on Ollie's head, but then watching the videos. And this is where we get the like mimic the death exactly, consume the old body, purge the soul into the new body. And you're like, oh shit, that's what is going to happen?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's why they said bird, because it's like, hey, baby bird, feed it into the new body.
That's not why they said bird.
I know, but like
that does also work.
I know, like it does also connect.
Yeah. Also, the demons have cloacas.
Ugh.
Ugh. Anyway, she puts on the Axe body spray and then she goes and hits Piper in her sleep. Then when Andy wakes up the next morning, she's like, do you have any explanation? Why'd you hit your sister? And he's like, I didn't. I wasn't in there. And she's like, but it smelled like you.
Yeah.
So like Laura is, and he knows Laura is lying.
Yeah.
At this point. And he sees Ollie outside covered in blood, all fucked up because Ollie has started eating Kathy at this point.
Yes. Eventually you see like a Kathy-sized beach ball in this not Oliver's stomach, and it is unsettling just to see that.
Yeah, but at this point, Andy's like, what the fuck is wrong with Ollie? Tries to take a picture. He and Laura fight over the phone. He punches the wall.
Yes.
Not her.
Yeah, but okay. And while they're fighting over the phone, like, he does kind of slightly push her.
Sure.
She falls like she used to play like at the elite levels of male soccer.
Yeah.
She tumbles like she's expecting someone to throw a red card. It was hilarious.
Wild.
But she's just playing the victim up for Piper's not benefit, but like to keep Piper on her side. She's like super playing the victim, you know?
Right. But he immediately leaves.
Yes.
Even after being like, grapefruit, I am telling you the truth. I gotta fucking go.
Yeah.
He drives directly to the police station / CPS. And as he's in the waiting room, he sees a missing poster for a kid named Connor Bird. And it is clearly Oliver.
Yes.
So he grabs that poster and he's like, hey, Wendy, Laura's full of shit. I don't know where you fucking met her. She kidnapped a kid. This is the kid. I know where that kid is. Let me fucking take you there. Why did you trust her? And they're like, well, she was one of our best counselors for like 20 years. Like, she would never hurt a child. And he's like, I have watched her hurt this child. Like,
I was like, nah, disagree. Hardcore disagree.
Disagree.
And to Wendy's credit, she's like, oh, okay, let's go check it out. Like, she does go with him, and ultimately it gets her killed, which is very sad. But like, I think both, obviously, Andy and Wendy are doing the right thing here in this moment.
Right.
It just leads to both their deaths.
Unfortunately, yeah. Because Laura takes Piper to some sort of game practice thing where it seems like it's sightless dodgeball, where she's like listening for where things are in the room and then throwing balls towards it.
Yeah, I think it's specifically for visually impaired people.
Yeah.
If it's my guess, it's goal ball, which is specifically for...
That is what they say.
Okay, yeah. So that's it's like a sport. It's kind of like soccer. Like
Okay.
There's like goalies and nets and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a game specifically for them.
I've never seen this before, but I was like, training to be a superhero? This is great.
I only saw it at a rec center one time, but I have seen it played once. But yeah, it's goal ball.
Interesting. I'm fascinated. I would love to watch people play because I was like, what is this?
Yeah, it's cool.
But while she's gone, Laura is trying to contain Oliver, and Oliver attacks her, rips out a chunk of her hair, bites her arm, and she manages to lock Oliver on the other side of a door, and she passes out for a while, but then Oliver mimics her screams.
Yeah. I think the reason we see the circles around the house and on the windows and on Oliver is because that's what she's using to kind of control the thing that's in Oliver, is like whatever circle magic she's using, right?
Right.
Because we see her later do it on the window and it kind of calls Oliver over.
Right. Meanwhile, Wendy and Andy are in the car and he's like, we got to get there. Please let me take you there. I don't want her to hurt Piper. And he calls Piper and basically leaves this apology of like, Dad used to hit me. I hid it from you. I did hit you once when I was 8. And for that, I apologize. But I promise I did not hit you tonight. And I just hope you're safe.
Yeah, it's really sad. Those are like the last words she'll ever hear of him.
So sad.
Yeah.
But while that's happening, Oliver, I mean, all I kept thinking was like Pika, because he's eating things that aren't food. He's like digging into the wood countertop.
Yeah.
But it's like breaking his teeth and splinters in his mouth. And it's, oh.
Yeah, if you have issues with like teeth and stuff, which I didn't think I did until this movie.
Right.
You won't like this part of the movie because this is where it takes multiple bites and teeth breaks, but he does eventually take a bite out of that table. It's ugh.
Yes. And then starts to rip his own skin off and taste his own skin. And it's not good. Meanwhile, in the locked off room, Laura wraps her wounds up, but she's lost a lot of blood.
Yeah.
She goes to the window, Oliver's staring at the pool, and this is where she makes the blood circle. Or I guess this is where she lets Oliver into the pool house to eat Kathy. But Laura screams as it happens. Meanwhile, Piper gets the voicemail, but she's playing ball, so she doesn't actually get to listen to it. But Wendy arrives, or Wendy calls Laura to give her a heads up of like, hey, we'll be there in just a bit. I gotta, check on you.
Yeah.
Laura hears it and is like, oh my God, I gotta clean the house. And there's no way she could clean enough of that house. Like, if an actual CPS person showed up and saw the house the way it was, people are getting dragged down to the office at minimum.
You mean even at the level of cleanliness she gets it to?
Yes.
Because it is still pretty bad. Yeah, no, I agree. But we do get like a montage of her frantically cleaning, like you're a 26-year-old guy who has a girl coming over to his apartment for the first time in 6 months. It's like that level of like frantic cleaning.
Right. They get there and Wendy makes Andy wait in the car.
Which is the right call based on what she knows, but ends up leading to both of their deaths, I think. Because had they both been in there together, the moment Laura started to flip on Wendy, Andy could have helped it and got them out of there.
Yeah, maybe.
I think the second she starts like losing her mind and grabbing at Wendy, I understand why Wendy doesn't do anything. I think Andy would have punched her in the fucking face, like until she hit the ground.
Yeah.
That's what I would have done. I'd have been like, nope, and just like started swinging.
Yeah. And ultimately, it looks like everything in the house is fine. They go and check through a couple different rooms. Meanwhile, Andy climbs the fence and goes to the pool house.
Yeah.
He sees Oliver fucking eating Kathy and runs back inside to be like, oh my God, what I just saw, shit's fucked up hospital. Like, it's bad.
Yeah.
But then while that's happening, inside, Wendy's like, yeah, everything looks good. Good to see you. And goes to like shake her hand and sees that her hand is bloody and is like, wait, you're bleeding. This is not, are you okay? What's going on?
This is also when we hear Andy start yelling for Wendy.
Yes.
And so this is the moment where the quote jig is up for Laura.
Right.
And that's why, because she has this history with Wendy of having worked with her for 20 years, they're probably like loose friends, you know, like they've probably been to each other's houses before and, you know, gone to dinners and stuff for 20 years.
Right.
So instead of like, it almost felt like a please don't make me kill you, please don't make me kill you, please don't make me kill you.
Yes.
Here's what I'm doing, please don't make me kill you. And like, I kind of loved the performance of that. Like the actor who plays Laura is amazing. She was amazing in The Shape of Water. She's just like amazing.
Yes.
So like, I hate her so much because you're supposed to, but it's such a good portrayal of that like frantic energy of like, I don't want to kill you, but I will. And here's what I'm trying to do. I need you on my side. And it's like crazy shit. So Wendy's against it, you know?
Right. Because she's like, I'm doing something for Kathy. We could bring her back. And she's like, what have you fucking done?
Yeah.
And she's like, no, I don't have anyone. Wendy and Andy run to the car. And we think they're about to make it when the other car, driven by Laura, smashes them against the car. And you're like, oh my God, Wendy is instantly dead. Andy is still alive, but probably would have died regardless. It looks like he is gravely injured.
Yeah, he's struggling to breathe at least. He was the lucky one who got hit by the car because he was hit and his body was kind of thrown off to the side and not run over, which like you might be right. Like he could be just like having his last breaths when she like dunks his head in the puddle and kills him.
I thought she was going to back over his head.
I thought she was going to back over him too because she does back over Wendy. You see the thud of it going as she backs over him, but she just walks over and dunks his head in the puddle and holds it under the water.
Okay, but while they hold him underwater, there's 3 hands holding him underwater.
Yeah, because I think it's Oliver.
Yeah,
they're inside the circle, so I think Oliver is still under the control. You know.
Yeah. But she then goes to just calmly pick up Piper at practice.
I don't think she's very calm. She's pretty high-strung energy. It is like, hey, I just murdered 2 people and we got to get home kind of energy.
We got to get home. And one of the coaches is like, hey, I want to talk to you about her eye because mandatory reporter, good for them.
Yes, yeah.
And she just is like, nope, we got to leave. But here's the thing. And here's what she also knows because she's worked with CPS. The second she brushes off that coach, ticking time bomb.
Yeah, because that coach is going to call in a report. Here's what I thought we might actually see, because there's an alibi for this. That bruise is a medical record already.
Right.
Like CPS already knows about it. I thought that she might call and we'd see that mechanic also protecting Laura still.
Right.
Because it has been protecting her this whole movie, but they don't show us that. And you're right. She could call, the coach could call, and then police go check it out immediately. Or they could call CPS and then be like, oh, it was from that, and then explain that, and then we're good, you know? So who knows?
Right.
But either way, because of all the shit that's gone down at the house, a neighbor's called the cops or somebody, because it is a ticking time bomb for how much time she has to murder this child.
Right. They get home and Piper is like, hey, there's a phone ringing, but whose phone is that? Because Piper is acutely aware of the sound of everybody's phone. And so she's like trying to find Wendy's phone. Can't find her. We hear Oliver mimicking Andy, which means that Oliver's eaten some of Andy.
Yeah.
But she goes in there to be like, hey, Andy, and then feels the head and is like, who the fuck is that?
Yeah, this is not Andy, and it's certainly not Oliver, because Oliver has red curly hair.
Right. At this point, Laura's like, I got you. And she's like, hey, what color is Ollie's hair? And she's like, oh, it's red and thick and curly. And she's like, huh, okay. And then she turns and throws something at her. I didn't get a good look at what it was. nails her directly in the face, I
Yeah.
assume from practicing the goal ball.
Yeah.
Runs and locks herself in the bathroom where she finds Andy's body in the shower, realizes he's dead, and then realizes very quickly after that Laura has keys
Yeah.
to the bathroom. And she's like, what happened to Andy? And she's like, he had an accident. I don't want to frighten you, but I put an angel in Ollie and he ate a dead body, and now we need to kill you so he can regurgitate that dead body into you. And so now I'm going to drown you in the pool. And you're like, oh no.
She does kind of like Bond villain it here and kind of explain the, what's going to happen to you kind of thing.
It's real Sebastian Stan and fresh of like, I'm going to sell your meat. I'm pretty good at it. People pay me a lot of money to do it.
Yeah.
Like that kind of oof. So she starts to drag her down to the pool, but she fights her. Piper fights back. And you're like, yes, Piper gets free. But Piper doesn't know the layout of the house as well because she's only been there for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
And runs directly into a load-bearing beam.
Yeah. I also thought it was just because of like the adrenaline of the fight. Like it's so scary. It could be that she just like was off kilter and didn't quite know exactly where she was in the space of the house, because of the fight.
Right. But she's unconscious. And so Laura drags her to the pool. Here comes Ollie with that creepy belly.
Yeah.
And she then tries to drown Piper in the pool. Piper fights back, and literally it's like a fight. It's a fight until she surfaces. She hits her.
And yells, Martha! Or whatever. She just yells mom.
Mom.
Yeah.
And that makes Laura back off for a second and have a flashback of Kathy's death, which gives Piper a chance to kind of escape and run. So she runs. Ollie kind of runs after her for a little bit until Piper runs and slips and falls, but then gets back up, makes it out of the circle, down to the road, waves somebody down, gets in the car.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Ollie, who I think can only hold the dead body in for so long, is like choking, barfs it all up on the floor.
Yeah.
And then walks over the line and sees his poster.
Yeah.
With his name. Because Andy had it, lost it in the car accident, whatever.
It blew out of the car when he went to go investigate.
Right.
Yeah.
So Oliver goes over the line, starts convulsing like we've seen previously. Meanwhile, Laura has a flashback of those Kathy videos. She goes in to see the body, digs into her arm, I think because she doesn't have any sharp implements and she's deliberately killing herself at this point.
Yeah.
Essentially, she dies in the pool with Kathy's body.
Yeah, we see that as the cops kind of come onto the house.
Right. But Piper listens to that last voicemail, very sad. But she hears an airplane overhead, which is what he told her. He's like, that's Dad going to heaven. You just catch a plane. And so it's her being like, that's Andy catching a plane.
Yeah.
Then the cops arrive and find Oliver. And it's at this point in the movie that I realized that Bird was his last name. We've seen that poster like 3 times, but they show us where he wrote Bird. And I'm like, oh my God, Bird, Connor Bird. That's his name.
Yeah. That's the real reason for the bird, not the regurgitation step.
Right.
Yeah. And that's the
movie.
So having seen the movie, having talked about the movie, what did you think about Bring Her Back?
I don't love the ending, as we have talked about at length. I don't think we got to talk about it much more.
Agreed.
Without the ending, it's an interesting world building. It's unique. I felt like it was something I hadn't really seen before. So I appreciate the hell out of that. I do think it's paced a little bit weird. I didn't hate it. I don't think I'll watch it again anytime soon.
I definitely won't. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they're, and by they, I mean A24, like they do an amazing job with horror movies, and they do an amazing job with like emotional weight of things in horror. They're just really good at it. I feel like the ending of this undercuts the movie quite a bit. And it's scary, so like I don't love those things.
Yeah.
So I don't love the movie, but if you like scary things and like this movie, I get it. And you're right, because it's made for you, you know?
Yeah, I think the Philippou brothers do a great job. I'll definitely see whatever their next one is. I feel like even for a movie I don't like a ton that has a couple story problems, notably the ending, it's still extremely effective up till that point, right?
Yeah.
At no point was I bored. I was on the edge of my seat the entire time. It's only an hour and 44 minutes long, so like they're good on time. even though I don't personally like this one, I do think it's well made.
Definitely.
And
definitely.
I'm kind of excited to see whatever the next one is, especially if we are dealing with a shared universe and there's more in that shared universe, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's fair. But Paige, do you have any fun facts for us?
I do.
Well, here it is with your fun facts.
Bring her
Piper,
back, fun facts. So Sora Wong, who plays Piper, had no experience acting professionally before she was cast in the film. For someone with no experience, she does an incredible job.
I find that somewhat surprising. Yeah, she does a great job.
Yeah. Her mom came across a casting call on Facebook looking for a visually impaired girl, which I also love for representation, that we actually cast somebody that has the impairment that Piper has, where she was born with coloboma and microphthalmia, which left her blind in her left eye and very weak vision in the right. But I think that actually leads to her giving a really authentic, great performance in the film.
Yeah.
A+. Sally Hawkins does her own stunts in the movie. She's terrifying the entire time. Great performance there as well.
She is, yeah.
So the Philippou brothers were originally attached to direct a film adaptation of Street Fighter in 2023, but exited that project to focus on this film after Talk to Me came out. And you know what? I'm going to say good choice.
I think it was too. Yeah.
Yeah, Street Fighter, wonderful game. Bonkers JCVD movie. Not a great history of good Street Fighter movies. Because, like, what even is a Street Fighter?
How dare you bring June into this?
They shot this movie in only 41 days.
That's pretty quick.
Which is, considering the level of practical effects in this movie, that's really quick.
Yeah.
So, they brought in prosthetic FX designer Larry Van Duynhoven. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. His team tackled the challenge of Ollie's transformation. The main actor who plays Ollie was only 12 years old during filming. And during the scene where he bites down a wooden table and a knife, they had dentures that protected his teeth and mouth. And then obviously they had breakaway teeth in the dentures and breakaway parts of the counter. And it's obviously not a real knife.
Right.
But for the final demon makeup, where he has the bulging stomach with necrotic veins all over, a whole body cast was created in their workshop, which if you know what it takes to do that, kudos to that 12-year-old because holy shit.
Having to like lay still in a coffin-like scenario, breathing through a straw, like that would be terrifying.
6 hours. It took 6 hours.
No, I couldn't do it.
That might be child abuse. That's real fucked up.
I couldn't do it for 5 minutes. I could not do that. I would freak out.
Ooh.
They'd have to do it in sections. I would struggle so hard with that.
So the demon actually does have a name. Now you don't really see it in the movie. You only see it in the additional materials that are online, but the demon's name is Tari. Laura calls Tari an angel that does beautiful things. Essentially, they basically argue that demons and fallen angels are kind of one and the same, right? Depending on your theological version of how angels and demons work.
There are many people who believe that is what demons are. Yeah.
But that's important because in the mythology of this film, that is the case because they were fallen because they had taught men forbidden knowledge they were never meant to learn, such as magic, divination, fortune telling, astrology, sword and weapon making, and seduction techniques, among other things.
Yeah, eat a dick, Prometheus and Tucker Max. Like, you guys are definitely demons.
Yes.
One was fire and the other one was flirting.
Yeah. But Tari, in this one, their forbidden knowledge is bringing people back from the dead.
Clearly.
Yeah. Jonah Wren Phillips, who plays Ollie/Connor, is the real-life son of Stephen Phillips, who plays the father of Andy and Piper.
Oh, okay.
And there are potentially a few different endings that were considered. One where Kathy did end up in Piper's body, which was the one I pitched too, but also a bigger, scarier finale that was scrapped when their friend died and they decided to shift it to a more emotional tone. That's the dedication at the end of the movie, Harley Wallace.
Yeah.
Where they said death is really unfair and sudden. People don't get a resolution. His story wasn't finished. He died at 22.
Ugh.
Yes. So for them, I think that's why we get the ending that we do, is because they were grappling with a death as this is happening, where they say that it goes against the conventions a little bit, but it felt more true to them in the moment. So let's talk a little bit just to finish this up of like Talk to Me being linked and the additional materials. So they exist in the same world. They hint that something is coming soon, but that will tease that connection. It may also be related to their previous YouTube work. But quote, it all happens on this one street. Don't buy a house in that neighborhood. The demons that possess the people in Talk to Me are predatory spirits and lost souls, but in Bring Her Back, Laura says it's an angel. We know it's a demon. Oliver's not good or bad. He's committing a miracle, but he's bringing back a loved one, but he's not here with evil intentions. He's like a genie in the bottle. You rub a lamp, he's going to come out. So that's where they view kind of the difference between the two. But allegedly, they all take place on the same street.
You got to move. I know. I would burn down the whole neighborhood.
The tie-in website, if you want to look it up, is blackangeltapes.net. And it further gives insights about how Laura came to own the possession tape in the film, what the circular motions are that she traces on the window and Ollie's head, and why the demon possessing Ollie is constantly hungry. And again, there is also 1 or 2 tapes with the hand from Talk to Me. And those are your fun facts.
Well, thank you for those fun facts, Paige. Let's talk a little bit about box office. So what do you think the production budget was for Bring Her Back just last year in 2025?
Correct me if I'm wrong. Talk to Me was like $6 million, right?
No idea, but I'll look it up.
Because I know they got more money for this.
Yeah, Talk to Me was $4.2 million.
4.2.
And it made 91.9 in theaters.
Good for them.
Yeah, man.
I'm going to say this is 12 million. A little bit more, but not crazy.
Yeah, you're close. And I would say that this still falls into that a little bit more, but not crazy budget of $17.5 million.
Yeah. That's all on the screen.
Yeah, that's not a crazy budget for what we got out of this movie.
Right.
Now, this movie did come out the weekend of May 30th, again, just last year, 2025. It was number 5 in the theaters when it came out. It got beat by Lilo and Stitch, the live action version that came out last year. Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning was number 2. The Karate Kid: Legends was 3. Number 4 was Final Destination: Bloodlines. And then Bring Her Back was number 5. Also, Paige, in theaters, Sinners was number 6. It had been out 7 weeks, though, so it makes sense. Now, what do you think Bring Her Back made in its opening weekend, Paige?
Opening weekend, I bet this made about $28 million.
Ooh, yeah, it actually brought in $7 million.
Oh, damn.
The number 2 movie brought in $27.2 million. And again, that was Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. Now, this movie was in theaters for a total of 6 weeks. I don't think it did as well or as good as they expected it, but it was 5th in its first week. It was 7th in its second week, and then it was never again in the top 10. And then again, was only in theaters for 6 weeks total. What do you think it made domestically? And I know this is an Australia movie, but I'm going to say domestic is just U.S., but I do want to clarify because we'll talk about international in a second. What do you think it made in the U.S. in its 6-week run last year?
$18.6 million.
That's very close. It made $19.3 million.
Nice.
Now, internationally, it brought in another $19.7 million.
Okay.
Which
it made its budget back.
Yeah, and it comes from where you'd expect. It's like the English-speaking countries around the world. Of course, Australia being really, really high up there. And then other countries as well. But the main, like United Kingdom, Spain, and Australia are the ones that are at the top.
I think the difference between this and Talk to Me as far as release goes, Talk to Me hit like the festival circuit for a while. And it became this like sleeper hit that people had rumors about and got really excited about. And then they did a bunch of like secret screenings of it. And I don't think they did the same for Bring Her Back. I think they just expected it to ride that wave and it just didn't. So maybe on their next one, they'll go harder at it kind of in the same way that they did for Talk to Me.
You mean like promoting it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I do remember a lot of like promotion for Talk to Me and a lot of buzz for it really too.
Yeah.
I don't really remember that until after this movie came out. Because after this movie came out, people were like, you guys need to do it. It's worth doing. And I agree. It definitely is worth doing. But anyway, that puts the total box office at $39 million, which I would say makes it a profitable movie because it's way over 17. It's more than twice its budget. So that probably means they did make money on it, which is good. I think it is good enough that they should have made money on it. I kind of wish it had made more because I agree. I really hope these guys get another crack at making a movie because they know how to make it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that's your box office. So, Paige, you want to hit us with that scary scale?
Sure. Our scary scale is the scale of how scary we found the film today, with 1 being Ghostbusters and 10 being Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Todd, how scared were you?
I'm going to give it a 5. I was pretty messed up with this movie. Yeah.
That's about where I'm at, too. It's very, very tense. It's got a lot of dread because you know things are bad right out the gate. I had this around a 5 as well.
Yeah.
Especially for the body horror.
Yeah.
Oof, my goof, the body horror is bad in this movie.
I didn't know I had teeth issues until this movie. Like, it got me.
I knew I did, and I didn't expect there to be this many. And there were teeth issues in Talk to Me as well, where that kid like smacks his head on the table and stuff. I don't remember what I gave Talk to Me. I feel like I gave it like a 6 or something. This is about a 5 for me, I think.
Fair enough.
And that's your scary scale.
So this week, Paige, you made us watch Bring Her Back. What are we going to watch next week as we kind of continue new release month, or movies we've recently missed month?
New release month. So there's one big one that we missed because we had talked about a few different new releases that we were both interested in that we hadn't had a chance to see. And then as I was going through, I was like, oh, fuck, we forgot to do that one. And that is 28 years later.
Oh, yeah. I do remember that movie coming out last year, and I was kind of surprised we didn't do it closer to when it came out. So, okay. I am interested to see how I'm going to assume, continue the series because I doubt they're going to stop making them, or at least I doubt they're going to stop making movies in that universe.
This is the beginning of a new trilogy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. But I'm interested to see, because I know Cillian Murphy's going to be back, and I want to see,
Not in this one.
Oh, wait, really?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Okay, now I have...
I've seen this one already.
Now I have so many questions. Okay. All right. Well, I guess we're going to have to wait to find out what goes down next week as we watch 28 years later.
And hey, Todd, do you have any reviews for us?
I do. This week, I'm going to read one specifically, and it came out on our most recent The Conjuring Last Rites episode. But Miss Kimber says, Paige hissing around the 8-minute mark made me laugh so hard I was able to forget about the pain from my fractured toe.
I heard myself do that in listening back to the episode. I was like, was I trying to laugh and I'm just too sick? Or did I hiss like a cat? And I don't know. I can't.
Because I had just making a joke, I'm going to go ahead and assume it was a laugh that came out as a hiss.
I think
but
so.
It also wasn't a great joke. And I thought maybe you might have been bringing back the old timey boo hiss.
Boo hiss.
Thing. Either way, I did listen back to it and laugh. So I thought it was funny too. But Miss Kimber, I hope your toe gets better. And if you want to have me read your 5-star Apple review or Spotify comment, leave us one of those things and I'll do just that. So guys, if you like this show but want to hear Paige and I talk about romantic comedies or just regular romantic movies, check out our other podcast. Some might call it a sister podcast called Romancing the Pod, where we do just that weekly. It's a lot like this show, but for romance and romantic comedies because Paige doesn't like them. So we make her watch them, just like you guys make me watch horror over here. But if you want to follow me, I am at Todd J. Awesome on all the social media. Paige is at Rampage Wesley on Instagram?
Yes, and TikTok.
And just Paige Wesley on Twitter, because you got that before some CEO lady, and she wanted it, but you wouldn't give it back, and I respect you for that.
Refuse.
Also, Paige
Suck it, other Paige Wesley.
Paige is also on another podcast. It's great. You should check it out. It's called Cult Podcast with Armando Torres, who is a wonderful person. And guys, we got a P.O. box. So if you want to send us some love letters or whatever you might send to a P.O. box, it's actually not a P.O. box. It's like a regular street address. It's pretty awesome. It's 6688 Nolensville Road, number 108-34, Brentwood, Tennessee 37027. So send us some stuff. And if you want to support this show, go to Patreon at patreon.com/horrorvirgin, where there are a lot of great levels and a lot of great things. We do the Patreon shout outs at the beginning of every episode. We do listener requests, stuff like that, bonus episodes. So you'll be getting all of that content, plus episodes a day early with no ads, and who doesn't love that? So sign up for the Patreon and get a lot of great stuff.
And that's going to be it for us, you guys. I'm Paige.
And I'm your horror virgin, Todd.
Keep it ooky spooky.
Yeah, have an amazing week, guys. Bye! I didn't know Brian McKnight was into this kind of shit, nerds!